Ah, hairs in the back of your neck job for me, this.
A radio presenter you will be.
Sorry, I couldn't resist doing the impression of that Yoda. Of course, that is the theme tune from Star Wars, and I'm going to be my element for the next 10 minutes or so, because I'm joined by Warwickshire man, Craig Spivey, who owns the UK's largest collection of Star Wars memorabilia, but it's not just locked away in his bedroom, no, it's on display at the Nuneaton Museum and Art Gallery, and you can go and see it until the 10th of July, so time is running out. And you join me on the show now. Hello, Craig.
Hello, Brody.
Mate, can I just say, I've interviewed celebrities. Big as you get. But I can't remember the last time I've been so excited about talking to a guest before.
Fantastic.
Because the thing about Star Wars, and it's not about me this chat, it's about you, the thing about Star Wars, for a lot of people listening to this show, and it doesn't matter if you were a little boy growing up, or even as a teenager, the second you saw that film, you were hooked forever, weren't you?
Absolutely, yeah.
And how did that apply to you? Take me back to when you first got into Star Wars.
I think, well, you were just talking then about seeing a clip.
Yeah.
I saw a clip on the TV, and I swear it was Screen Test.
Oh, Screen Test?
So it might well be the same one, but I remember seeing that, and I would have been 7, 8 years old, and just the visuals, the way that it was put together, the design of like C-3PO, I can remember so clearly. I can remember him falling over and being on fire. It just hooked me. It really did. And then fast forward a few months, and it gets released in the UK, and the stuff starts hitting the shelves, and you can take some of this movie home with you. And it really kicked in then.
Well, I remember as a kid, because I'm not originally from here, but I remember going into Lewis's in Birmingham, and there was a Star Wars display in there of all the toys, and I just used to just stay there for ages. There was almost a little display, almost a little scene set in there, and that's when I started collecting the toys as well, because that's what you do. If you love the movie, then you start collecting toys, don't you? So I had the bedspread and the wallpaper, but I had a few toys and still got them now, but nothing compared to you. You went into a different league, didn't you?
I guess I did, yeah. And I think I'm very lucky that my mum didn't throw it away or give it to the kid down the road. I hear that story so many times. What happened in my circumstances was that I kind of grew out of it, like we all did. We kind of discovered girls and music and things that kind of took our attention away from robots and spaceships, but it went in the loft. It was safe. It was up there, and it was forgotten about for not that long, to be fair, a few years. And it was a Coventry Oxfam that kind of sparked it all. There were 2 figures in there. There was an Emperor, and there was a Lando skiff guard that I'd never had as a kid, and I thought I didn't have those.
So what year we're talking now?
I would say that would be about 89.
Right. Okay.
So things were still around. You could still buy stuff from charity shops and car boot sales, and toy fairs were the domain of old men with toy trains. But the Star Wars stuff was starting to come through. So it was still affordable. It was still on a student budget, and I could pick things up for a couple of quid. And went in the room, and then I got the stuff down from the loft, and it grew from there.
So when you were, say, up until 1989, would you say you had kind of an average, a regular kind of family, a regular kind of boy?
I mean, we were a normal family, and I think, toys and spaceships were Christmas and birthdays. And everyday Star Wars was things like the little letter sets you used to get and rub down the characters, and things like Star Wars pencil cases that were made by a company called Helix, who were in the West Midlands. And I think they were everyday things, and for me as a collector, they're things I kind of focus on a lot more than maybe the stuff you think about, which is the toys and stuff. So it's kind of why the exhibition's garnered a little bit more attention than just a bunch of toys. Really.
Well, let's talk about it. We'll talk about Star Wars, the movies. We'll go back to that in just a moment as well. But your collection, it is the biggest in the UK, isn't it?
I don't know. It depends on what criteria you're judging it on. Is it number of items or quality of stuff or range? I mean, it's certainly probably kind of up there, but who knows what people have got tucked away.
So how many items have you got?
I don't know. I get asked that. I've never sat and count them.
Well, I've seen a picture. A picture really is every inch of a large room. You just be modest, are you? Every inch of this room is packed full of Star Wars memorabilia. There's a pinball machine. There's things that I've never even seen before.
Yeah, it's a very impressive. I do spend a lot of time making it look nice on shelves and things. That's part of the hobby. But there's only a selection of stuff that's gone over to the museum. They couldn't house everything. It's about 250 items all told. They were very bound by cabinet space and kind of the way a gallery likes to have a bit of space around things. It couldn't just cram everything in like it is at home.
And what's your favourite item, would you say, out of all of it? Because for me, when I was collecting, it was my Millennium Falcon, and I wanted to have a Death Star as well, but I never got the Death Star.
The Death Star's great.
Yeah, but you've got the Death Star, haven't you? Clearly, you've got the Death Star.
I've still got the one from being a kid, and it was my favourite toy growing up. I think now I'd have to say it's probably one of the more quirky items that probably isn't a toy. So I've got a shop display that would have gone into little newsagents and places like that. When I grew up in a village, and I can remember it being there in the little kind of corner shop that housed the letter sets, and they were kind of 30p each, and you buy them out of this little box. I've got one of the boxes that would have sat on the counter, and I love it. Oh, it's a box.
Brilliant. And are you still collecting, by the way?
Yeah.
Is there anything you haven't got?
So much I haven't got. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, there's so much stuff, isn't there? Everyone knows if it don't move, somebody's slapped a Star Wars logo on it.
Yes, yeah. But what's really wonderful, and I say we'll talk about the movies in just a bit and why we love them so much. But you brought in here, and I've got one of these as well. You brought in the Rebel Transporter, haven't you?
Yeah.
And over to you, because this is wonderful what you've done. So you're having a look for the box of this, and it's quite a large spaceship, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a kind of long, sort of cigar-shaped spaceship. It wasn't the most exciting item in the range. It was a sort of nice place to store your figures. And when we decided we were going to put the exhibition on, I just had to go through all my stuff and sort of curate to some degree what I was going to bring and how it was all going to work. And in doing that, in going through some boxes that perhaps I've not been through in a number of years, I noticed that on the instructions, a little form to fill in if you're in any way dissatisfied with your toy. And on that form was written a chap's name. Well, he would have been a child back then. And an address in the meeting, and I thought, what a beautiful sort of thing to try and reunite this chap, hopefully who's still in the meeting, with his childhood toy.
That is lovely.
As I say, I hear it so many times that people kind of either regret saying it or curse their parents for clearing space in their bedrooms when they've left home. So, if I can do this, if we can find him, if we can do a shout out today.
What a lovely idea. Honestly, Craig, it's a beautiful idea. So, this particular Rebel Transporter, and it says Stuart Weir. So that's who we're talking about. Stuart Weir from Keats Close in Galley Common. Do you know Stuart Weir? Are you Stuart Weir? So it's Stuart Weir, Keats Close, Galley Common in the Neaton, and also there's a little video about some missing parts as well. He's actually named some missing parts here, or his mum or his daddy has written.
He never sent it off, clearly.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you know Stuart, or once again if you are Stuart, get in touch with us, because are you going to reunite?
It's his. It's his.
Well, I love it. Honestly, that is one of the most generous things I can ever remember in a long time. That is wonderful. And you're happy with parting with that, are you?
I have another one, so yeah.
Oh, there you go. I knew it. I absolutely knew it. No way were you going to get rid of that out of your collection. So, Stuart Weir, and we'll put this on our Facebook page as well. Stuart Weir, Keats Close, Galley Common. If you are him, or you know of him, or you're related to him, get in touch, because we have got the most wonderful present for you. A Rebel Transporter from Star Wars Return of the Jedi. Brilliant. What a lovely gesture. Now, favourite movie? Come on, let's talk back to Star Wars. Favourite movie? Empire Strikes Back for me.
Yeah, I love Empire. I think everybody loves Empire, but I get asked this question. I think Star Wars in the original New Hope, it's just so iconic. Those characters are just, they are icons, and I think that's where it all started.
Favourite Princess Leia outfit for me? I know what you're going to say.
I'm not going to say the bikini. I'm going to say the white dress with the hair.
With the hairs of the two at the side. Yeah, I am going to stick with the bikini when she's being held by Jabba the Hutt. So there you go. Very cliche, but I have to admit it. Favourite character in any Star Wars film?
I was always a Han Solo man. He was who I wanted to grow up to be. I kind of didn't quite achieve that, but I used to run around with an American accent when I was about.
Good. Well, the thing is, I used to think Luke was a bit wussy.
He was.
And Anne was like, yeah, he's the one you want to be, isn't he, when you grow up? Favourite baddie?
Favourite baddie?
So you're not going for the straight to half then? I can tell you.
It's the first one that kind of springs to mind. I'm suddenly going through, all the kind of miscreants of the series. I think Vader, he's just iconic, isn't he?
And what do you reckon then? Least favourite character?
Least favourite.
Everybody always says the same thing, but you probably won't, because you're.
I'm going to go Ben Quadranaros, who's the pod racer who looked like one of those Munch Bunch characters that used to stick on the end of pencils.
I do remember. Yeah. Well, that's all coming back to me. Mine is Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
What was he doing in those films? What was George Lucas thinking?
He was screwing up the vote.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, it's been a pleasure to get you on the show, mate. I've really enjoyed chatting to you. I could talk to you all day, seriously. What we need to do, we need to have a game. You don't. We need to get our toys out. I'll be the Empire. You can be the rebels if you want.
Yeah, right.
Why don't we get that quilt out? Because I used to always play. Probably going too far now, aren't I? Sorry. Just going back.
Wait till it snows and we'll get the hat out.
Oh, right, that's fantastic. Well, listen, lovely having a chat with you. And back to Stuart Weir. Stuart Weir, we have a Rebel transporter waiting for you. If you know Stuart Weir, if you're related to, get in touch with us. 0345 900 5200. And your exhibition, by the way, I forgot to talk about that. It's on until the 10th.
It's on until the 10th of July. There's 2 more weekends to go. I know it's Godiva this weekend, but if you fancy a break from all that cool stuff, go and have a look at some dusty old toys in some cabinets.
Hey, what more do you need? What more do you need? Listen, lovely to talk to you.